Hey, what up, everyone? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Fred. It's been a while here, and I'm back again. All right, so we're going to be looking at some questions, especially this question in the just concluded GCE examination. We wrote last week, technical drawing. All right, 2022. Okay, so the one of the West African examination council that is meant for out of secondary school students. Okay. All right, so we're going to be treating this question. We're going to be treating other question as well, but for this video I would like to deal with this question. All right, sorry, I have a little bit of cold, so you're gonna have to bear with me. Okay, so let us start with this. Now the question says the figure below, that figure 4, shows a block presented in first angle orthographic projection. So if it is first angle, that means this is the front elevation, this is the plan, and this is the end elevation. All right, so now we have been instructed to draw full size the block in isometric projection, making K the lowest point. So this is the point K, this will be the lowest point. All right, okay, so you can also see K here as well. All right, now, like I've always told you in previous videos, now if this is your first time if you're new to isometric projection, you should go see previous videos on introduction to isometric and other examples I've treated so far, so you can be able to relate with what's going on here or what's about to happen here. Okay, so what we do is we'll draw the whole of this inside a box. So we'll prepare a box that will contain just this object, this front elevation, plan and end elevation. But before then, we need to settle off something. Okay, all right, so now the question, we're going to draw a box, and the box will contain this object. So but before then, we need to know the total length, the receding line to the right, the receding line to the left. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, now we want to start isometric. You draw a horizontal line, you recede a line to the right, a line to the left, and a vertical line, all right, at 30 degrees angle. Now the question is, what is the total length of the what's the dimension to the to this line, this receded line to the right? Okay, so if this is K, that's the lowest point, that means our K is going to be here. So that means to our right would be this 90. So you could see this is 90. So the box we're going to draw, we have this length 90. Okay, then to the left, that's this line now, here is 150, as you can see from above, 150. So the length here will be 150. Then the total height, which can be seen from either the elevation or the front elevation or the end elevation, from here we could see that it's 90. So the total height here is 90. So we're going to draw a box of 150 by 90 by 90. All right, and it is inside that box we're going to project this. All right, let me quickly do that off recording. Okay, so here it is. Now do not forget, everything you've seen here, they are all what? Thin lines, not thick lines. Now do not forget also how I got this 90, 90, 150. So this is 90, this is 90, this is 150. Then I use that to complete the box. Now if you want to know more about how to complete isometric box, you should go see previous videos, as I've done a lot of explanation on that. So I'm just going to skip all of that part and go straight to the drawing. All right, so now this is our K. Do not forget the lowest point, K. All right, this point. All right, so from this drawing, we could see that this part here on the top, okay, is round. We could see that from the plan. That means a cylindrical part. All right, as you can see here, and it has a thickness as indicated by these hidden details. Okay, all right, so you could also see it from the end elevation. So now this part here you're looking at, okay, is actually this part. Okay, and it is not on same level as this circular, this cylindrical stuff here. Okay, now from the elevation I could see that it's not on this level, because from the plan it looks like it is on same level. No, it is actually down here. This is it, this surface you're seeing here is down. Same thing here, right? So I'm going to what? Indicate, show the surface, all right, on this box. All right, so what is the distance? The distance is 25. So I will measure 25 from the top. So 25 will be 2.5, so this is 2.5 here. Okay, now I'm supposed to do the same thing here, 2.5, and I'm supposed to do the same thing here, 2.5, but I'm not going to do that because 1 is just enough. So what I will do is I will transfer lines to this 2.5 and transfer lines here, and it will give me the exact thing that I want to save time. All right, so just a minute. Okay, so sorry, I noticed I didn't get this part correctly. Okay, I've effected the changes. I actually measured 8 here instead of 9, so I've corrected it. If you rewind the video, you will notice that there's a little bit of change. Okay, so I just have to correct that. So this is 90 by 90 by 150. So the whole of these, they are all 150. The whole of these, they are all 90, and the whole of these, they are all 90. All right, so let's move. So the other time I measured 25, which I've already done here. 25, that's 2.5. I told you could also measure 2.5 here and here, but if you can just measure one, that's enough. So transfer lines from here, thin lines for now, so to 2.5. So don't forget, this is where I measured my 2.5. So I'm just going to draw thin lines across to the other side, stop there, then I'll do the same thing here. I'm going to transfer this line, transfer this line here, 2.5. okay, this is 2.5, don't forget. So the whole of this distance is, yeah, what, 2.5. So I think I'm just going to transfer one here as well to this point because I want to get it back. So sorry, let me move this thing down a little bit. All right, sorry about that. That's it. And I think I should just do a last one for clarity purpose. So transfer lines here, sorry, I have to adjust this down a little bit. Transfer lines here to this point here, you have 2.5, and draw until it intersects this line. Okay, so that's it. All right, so I'm just going to dress it up. All right, so here we go. Now I've succeeded in bringing this surface out. Okay, this, so this is what you're seeing here. All right, okay, so now from the end elevation, I could see that this has already been drawn. This is it here. All right, so I'm going to take a distance of what, 45 down, 45. So I'm going to measure 45 down, that's 4.5, measure 45 down, 4.5. all right, so this is 4.5 here. Okay, if you like, you can also do the same thing here, but I just like to transfer lines to 4.5, so you can do that as well. So this is 4.5, so I'm just going to draw line a little bit to this extent and stop, and also from here and stop. Reason being that if you check, all right, just a little bit of distance there and here, it didn't draw it all the way down, so that's why I didn't draw it all the way. All right, I'm just going to take the measurement and I'll be done with it. Okay, so now the question is, what is the distance from here to here? Of course, from here to here. So you will know that by, we were given a distance from here to here, this point to this point, which is 65. All right, so what you're going to do is, if, what is the distance, the whole distance here? So we know that the whole distance here is 90. We already knew that from here, that this is 90. Okay, so 90 minus 65, that should give you about 25, I guess. Yeah, okay, so that's 25. So that means this plus this distance plus this distance will give you 25, plus this distance, which is 65, will give you what, 90. All right, so now we have to split 25. If we split 25, that will be 2.5 here. Sorry, 2, that will be 12.5, sorry, 12.5, yes. So 12.5, 12.5, then you'll be left with what? 65. I hope that's clear. So get your ruler, measure 12.5, that will be 1.25 on your ruler, 1.25. So this is 0 here. All right, this is 1.1.25. So 5 will just be in between after 0.2. So that's it there. So I have it there. And then same thing here. This is 1.1.25, which is half of it, just in between 1.1.25 there. Okay, now we've gotten this point. Let me erase the extensions for clarity purpose. Okay, so what we're going to do next, remember we are just drawing thin lines for now, we'll make them thick later. Now what is the distance from this? Now this was the one we measured, don't forget, not this one. This one was 65. Now this one is 80. So this one is pretty straightforward. So if this is 80 and the whole of the distance from here to here is 90, so 90 minus 80, you'll be left with 10. So if you're left with 10, that means if this is 90 and you take 80 out, so we'll be left with 0.5, 0.5. You get? So that means the distance from here to this point is 0.5, and the distance from here to this point here is 0.5. So I'm going to align my ruler and measure 0.5. So here is 0.5 here, and here 0.5. Just measure 0.5 there. That's it. So connect this point to this 0.5. You can make a thick line now if you like, and connect this point to this point 0.5. So that's it. All right, so you cannot draw the whole of this surface thick line. Okay, so here it is. The thick outline is out. All right, so let's move out to the front elevation. Now remember, this is the front view of the object, this is the end view, and this is the plan. All right, so you could see this is corresponding with this part here. All right, so we've already drawn this, which is this one. So we're going to draw this, so it's the same dimension, 45. So this is 45. So since we already have 45 here, we're just going to transfer the line and draw at once. So transfer lines to 45. Okay, here, so this is our 45. This is it here. So draw it thick line at once. So that's it. Now don't also forget that this part here, this edge you're looking at here, that's what's represented by this part. So we're going to draw lines from here down, okay, and it's going to measure what? 150. So let's draw thin lines first, but we're going to transfer it. So thin lines first. So transfer this same receding line to this point here, right? So align your set square and transfer here. Just draw a thin line for now. Thin line. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, we're going to measure 150. That's 15 on that line. Okay. So this is 150 here. That's 15. Draw it thick line. Okay. That's it. Okay. So now you see this line here. We're going to transfer it to this point, because this point is the corresponding point on the other side. I hope that's clear. All right, so align your set square with this line, this one. Okay, properly. So when you're done, support with your ruler, okay, and transfer it to where you measured 15, this point here, and draw it until it touches this part. Sorry about that. So that's it. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to draw the whole of this thick line for now. So I'm going to draw this thick line. All right, so I've done that. Now this corresponding part at the back, you won't be able to see it because it's not a see-through object, okay? Including this side, you won't be able to see it, okay? It's just behind, and we don't show hidden details in isometric. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to position this cylindrical part, okay, here. So I'm going to draw the outer one first before I draw the inner one. All right, so please follow me very closely. So how am I going to position it now? Ignore the surface for now, this top surface, ignore it. That's just the height of this height here, okay, of this. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to draw a kind of box, okay, that will contain this cylinder. That's what I want to bring out here now. So let me first of all focus on the bottom surface, this bottom surface, okay, that's that rectangle, as the case may be. Now what is the distance? Now from here to this point is 75. That's half of 50, okay? So that means I'm going to measure 75 here, either here or here is the same thing, 75 there, okay? After measuring 75, I'm going to draw a line, okay? That's number one. Then number two, what is the distance from here to here? That's from here to the center. Remember, from this center to this edge, I've gotten it to be 75. Now from here to this point is 45. So I'm going to measure either 45 here or here. It's the same thing. So I'm going to draw a line, okay, so they will intersect to form this center line that you're looking at. All right, okay, so let me do that real quick. Now measure 75 here. I'm just going to measure one and I'll transfer. So this is 75. Sorry, this is 75. Okay, and I'm going to dot here. So that's 75. So let me just transfer lines at once for clarity purpose. So I'm going to transfer this line, align your set square, okay, and transfer this line here and draw it across until it touches this other side here. Stop there, okay? It's a thin line, just leave it like that for now. Then remember, I'm going to measure what? 45. So I'll measure 45 here. All right, so I go ahead and do that. So this is 5 here, 45, and this is 0. Okay, so that's 45. So I'm going to transfer lines. You can also measure 45 here and connect them, but I don't want to go do that. I just want to transfer lines to 45. It's still the same thing. So align your set square and transfer to that point there, okay, and draw a line, okay. All right, so this is my point of focus. All right, now take your eyes off this surface for now, just focus on this bottom. All right, so now if you remember in previous video I told you that to draw a circle, an isometric circle, you need what? A rhombus. So what's the dimension of the rhombus we are going to draw? Since the outer diameter here is given to be 80, okay, so we're going to draw a rhombus of 80 by 80. Don't worry, we'll focus on the inner thickness of 65 later on, okay, but let's focus on the outside first. So we're going to draw 80 by 80. So please pay attention at this point. Now this is the center of this line, so this is the center of this cylindrical part, there's no doubt about that. Okay, so if I want to draw a rhombus of 80 by 80, so I'm going to measure 80 on this line, I'm going to measure 80 on this line, this center line, and I'm going to measure 80 on this line also, okay. So that means if I'm going to be measuring 80 here, that means half of it will be what? 40. That is, this is the center, so this will be 40, this will be 40. Then from here I'll measure 40 also and 40 backward. I hope that's clear. All right, so I will align my ruler. I hope this is clear. Now this is the center, okay, this is the center point. All right, so I have my 4 there, so I will dot 0. This is center and this is 80. I will dot 80. So from here to here is 40, from here to here is 40, that makes it 80. So I'll do the same thing on this other side. So I'll align my ruler, 4 at the center. I'm going to pinpoint 0 and 8. That's it. So from the center here is 40, 40, that makes it 80. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer lines to all points. All right, now align your set square with this line. Okay, transfer lines to this point where you measured 80, thin lines, and draw a line across, thin line. Continue to this other one at the back here where you measured 80 and draw thin lines. Okay, that's it. Then align your set square in this form also. Now transfer to this point where you drew 80, where you measured 80. Okay, so these two lines, now I'm going to draw it to intersect both lines through there. Okay, then also to this other 80 on the other side. I mean the one that makes it 80, this other side. Draw a line to cut both lines. Sorry, let me fix that properly. Okay, so now that's it. Okay, so what you're going to do next now is I am going to transfer. Now don't take your eyes off this rhombus here. So you already know that this height is what? Is 25 from the elevation, 25. So now take your eyes off this top, like I said, so you don't get yourself confused. All right, so now align your set square, vertical line. So I'm going to transfer lines to all of these edges. Okay, now let me make this a little bit easy. So I'm going to erase this line on top here, so there's no you don't get confused at the end of the day. So let me take off this line on the top. Okay, so now I've gotten rid of this line. So remember, we still have our rhombus here. So align your set square, with a vertical line, right? And support with your ruler. I hope you can see what's going on there. Let me adjust properly. Okay, so now I'm going to transfer vertical line to all of these edges up. Okay, so transfer here. Sorry, I need to align this properly. All right, transfer here. Draw a thin line up. Just draw a thin line up from there. Draw a thin line up. Transfer here. Sorry, my hand shook. I have to go and take this again. All right, to this point here, thin line up, and finally to this point here, thin line up. I hope you're following. Now what am I going to measure is the same thickness. All right, sorry, the same height of 25. So measure 25 on all of them from the bottom. 2.5. So this is 2.5. Here. So you can go ahead and measure 2.5 here, 2.5 here, and 2.5 here, but I won't do that. I only need one to enable me transfer lines to the other ones. So I'll just transfer lines to the other ones. So this is 2.5. I'll draw lines until it touches this one. Sorry, should have drawn the other one at once. So transfer line here to 2.5 until it touches this one here. Right, transfer lines from here until it touches this one, and finally transfer lines from here until it touches this one. Okay, well, you can just join them. You can just join them together. So this box, okay, this box will contain the cylindrical part of the drawing. All right. All right, so you know the rule of isometric circles when drawing isometric circles. So I won't go through all of that anymore because I've treated them in previous videos. You can go see previous videos to get to understand how it works. So I'm going to locate the center. So the center of this will be 40. This center 40. Do the same thing here. Because if the line is 80, it means the midpoint is what? 40. So locate all the midpoint of the lines. So this is midpoint 40. I've done it for this line and this line. I'm going to do it for the one above. So just a minute. All right, so this is 80. The midpoint here is 40. And do the same thing for this other side. This is 80. And the midpoint here is 40. Okay, so don't forget these midpoints for the top and the midpoint for the bottom. So the midpoint for the bottom has already been what indicated. Look at it here. So this is midpoint here. This is the midpoint for this line. This is the midpoint for this line, and this is the midpoint for this line. Okay, now the rule says join the longest diagonal. So focus on this rhombus at the bottom, this one. So I'm going to join the longest or diagonal, which is this point to this point. Okay, so that's it. So I'm going to do both of them at the same time. So join the longest diagonal for the top. So now focus on this rhombus now for the top. The longest diagonal. All right. So after joining the longest diagonal, so you choose one of the bigger angle. You know, these two angles, opposite angle, they are the same and they are bigger than this angle here. So you choose just one of them. So I'm going to choose this one and you join it to this midpoint. I told you, focus on the bottom, this midpoint. But I'm not going to draw the line because my point of focus is where it cuts this diagonal. So I'm supposed to draw a line all the way, but I don't want to because I don't want to crowd the drawing in with lines. So what I'm going to do is an attempt to draw a line through. I will just only cut this diagonal. This is the point I'm looking for. That's it. Then from here also I will join to this midpoint. To this midpoint here. Then, but I won't draw the line all the way. I will just cut the diagonal, and that's the point I'm looking for. So get your pair of compass. You needle here. Stretch. Sorry, let me tighten this. All right. So you needle at this point of intersection here. Stretch to this half. You know, this half here. Now if it is touching this half, it should also touch this half here. So draw an arc, but we're not, because we are it's the bottom part of the what of the cylindrical part, so we're not going to exceed this diagonal. All right, so you needle here since it is touching, so you draw from here and stop at this diagonal. Don't exceed because we can't see the other side, it's not transparent. So draw an arc and stop just here on the line. All right, you needle at this point of intersection also. You should be touching half. So draw an arc. Let's try this one very well. To touch that line and stop. Okay, stop. All right, so needle here. Stretch to touch this midpoint here. So if it is touching this half, you should also touch this half. Sorry, let me tighten this. All right, so let me do that again. Touching this half, to also touch this half. So draw this arc with thick lines. Okay, so that's the bottom part. Okay, so let's draw the circular top. Now take your eyes off this rhombus at the bottom and put focus on this rhombus at the top now. So like we did for the bottom, connect Or maybe I should connect here this time around, so you understand. Connect here to this center here. You know, we measured 40 here, and we also measured 40 here. So needle here, connect to this center here, but I'm not going to draw the line. I'm only going to cut this, all right, this diagonal line. I'll cut it there, then I'll do the same thing here. So needle, place my pencil here, and I'll connect to this center. Remember, this is 80. Sorry, this is it here. This is the center. This 80, the center is 40. I measured it the last time. So in an attempt to join it, I will only cut the diagonal, this diagonal here. I hope that's clear. Then what I did for the bottom, I will do for the top, but this time I will complete it. So needle here, stretch to this half here that I measured 40 the other time. Now if it is touching this half, it should also touch this half here. Okay, so connect both points together with an arc. Do not exceed the half of this line. Do not exceed the half of this line. You needle here also, and stretch it to touch this half. If it is touching that half, to also touch this half here. So you draw. Do not exceed the half. Okay, that's for that. Then needle here, not here, here. This one is for the top. Then stretch to this half here. If it is touching this half, it should also touch this half. That is, if you have drawn it correctly, that's what you should get. So you draw this arc, and you needle here. If it is touching this half, it should also touch this half. Okay, so you draw this. So that's it. So what you do is, next, join this point of intersection with this point of intersection where this arc is intersecting the diagonal. Connect it to this point. So that's for that. And this one, that's it. Okay, but that's not all. Do not forget that it has a thickness of what? 65. All right, so if we drew an 80 by 80 rhombus to draw this top circular part and the bottom half circle, then we're also going to need what? A rhombus of 65 by 65, both on the top and at the bottom. Is that clear? We're going to need that, a rhombus of 65. So let's do that real quick. Now, to make this very easy and fast for me, I'm going to join the center. So this is the center here. Remember, this is 40. I'm going to join it to this 40 here, just like I did for the bottom rhombus. I'm going to do it for the top. So this is 40. Join it to this 40 here. Just a minute. All right. Okay. So don't get confused. Now this top part of 80 by 80, I'm going to bring that another rhombus inside. That is what? 65 by 65. So I will use this. So 65 would be 32 point, yes, 32.5. all right, so that would be 3.25 to get my 65. So 3.25 will be half. So I'm going to measure 3.25 here, 3.25 here, 3.25 this way, and 3.25 this way to give me 65. It's going to be a little bit difficult to measure, but we're just going to try. So this is 3.1.25 will be here. Okay, 3.1, 3.2, 5 will be here. So I'm going to dot 0 and 65. I hope that's clear. That's on this line. Then I'm going to do the same thing here. So this is 3.1, 3.25, approximately in between there. Just a minute. Sorry, I'm really having cold and okay, so let's continue. So this is 3.1, 3.25, centralize it. So I'm going to dot 0 and 65 here. So like I did for the rhombus of 80 by 80, I'm going to transfer line for the one of 65 by 65. So just pick any of the receded lines there or drawn lines, align your set square, transfer a thin line here where you measure at 65, draw a thin line across, move to this other side here, 65, draw a thin line across, okay, then align your set square like this, okay, transfer here, this 65, draw a thin line, okay, problem, just to cut and do the same thing here. Okay, so that's it. All right, actually these were supposed to intersect at this diagonal, okay, but maybe error due to parallax, but not to worry, just for you to get the concept. Okay, so you know what to do now. The center, remember, focus on this rhombus, this one. So this is the what, the largest angle is opposite, so you choose one of them, connect them to the center. Don't take your eyes off this one, focus on this other one now. So but cut the what, the diagonal there, so you can see they are not the same point, so don't make that mistake. So here, join from this point to this point here, cut the center. Now some of you may be this may be strange to some of you, especially if you are new. Like I said, you can go see previous videos. I explain all of this in details, so if you do that, come back to this video and you'll be able to understand. So needle here, stretch to this half here, and like I said, if it is touching this half, it should also touch this half here, okay. All right, just a moment. Like I said, there was some error due to parallax. I'm trying to fix all of that. Okay, so draw. So that's for that. Needle here, stretch to this half. If it is touching this half, it must also touch this half. So draw this. So remember, I'm not exceeding this half and this half. Then you needle here, stretch to this point here, okay. So if it's touching this half, you should also touch this half. You draw this, then you needle here, right, stretch here. If it's touching this half, you should also touch this, so you have the draw thick line. So that's it, but we're not done yet. We are not done yet. Now there is a part of, if you watch from here, you could see that these hidden lines indicating the thickness here is not going all the way down. That means it's not a see-through hole, okay. It stopped just here. So that means on this surface there's also this circular part. You also see it on the inside, okay, to be somewhere there. So what we did on the top here for 65 by 65 rhombus, we're going to do it for the bottom as well and draw the other part. So it's a little bit complex, but if you're patient and you follow the steps, you should be able to get it. Okay, now in order not to waste our time, okay, I'm going to use a shorter method to be able to draw this other part, the circular inner surface. So how? Now, you know, in the diagonal for this top, we had a point with which we drew these arcs, okay. Now, you know, we also have another diagonal for the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I will transfer this corresponding point down. Since it is the same 65 by 65, I don't need to draw it all over again. It's going to waste my time. So I can use the transfer method. So I'll transfer this point down to this diagonal and also transfer this one. Remember, we are using this, not the one in front. Okay. So how? Just align your set square with a vertical line. Okay. The vertical line. So transfer line here to this point. See? So just you're going to draw a line, but don't draw the full line. So but it is assumed that I'm drawing a line, but I'm only going to cut this diagonal at the bottom to give me the corresponding point. So this point and this point, they are the same. I'll do the same thing for the top. Sorry, let me realign. Okay, so sorry, my hand shook. All right, now transfer here this same point. So cut this diagonal at the bottom. So you see this point here and this one, they are the same. They're the same. Okay, so remember when I needled here, I stretched here. All right, and I drew this arc. So with this radius now, I'm just going to needle here. I don't need to stretch anymore because it's supposed to be the same thing. Okay, so remember again, this is an opaque object. It's not a see-through, so I cannot see the full, just like you saw this part. Now you can't see the other one, so you only draw the part that will be visible, and you're going to stop. Remember, if I draw, I'm going to stop on this line. Okay, I stopped there. So if I'm needling here, I'm also going to stop where? On this corresponding line. You know, this line on the top is what you have here on the bottom. So I will just draw from here. I can't draw it all the way because I won't be able to see it. So from the visible part, I will stop here. That's it. I hope that's clear. So stop here. So this point here is corresponding with what this point, because it's on this line. It's on this line. So that's it. Then needle here and do the same thing. Right, and stop on this line. Okay, on this line, just like when you drew here, you stopped on this line. All right. Okay, so now you see this distance here. This edge, okay, is for the 80. This edge here is for the what, 65. So I can also transfer it to get this corresponding point for the bottom. So what do I do here? I will needle here, stretch here. So it's assumed that this line is continuing, and this is the distance. Okay, so I will needle here and I'll stretch here. All right, so I will transfer this distance for this top rhombus to this bottom rhombus. So I will transfer this distance here. So I will needle here and I will cut. So if I were to draw this, you see this here. Now this point here that I needled on to draw this part, this is the corresponding point at the bottom. So I'm going to needle here. So you can see it's touching it where I stopped previously. You can see. So you draw. So this is the transfer method. You just transfer point, draw. So this is the complete drawing. All you need to do is you draw this other visible part where it touches the body of this object. Okay, so remember, it is not a see-through object, so this line just going to stop there. This will move, will go that way and just stop there. Okay, it's not a see-through. So what you do next is you dimension what this object, and you're done with it. Okay, so when you're done dimensioning, this is approximately what you should get. All right, thanks for watching. If you do not understand the first time, go through the video again and carefully follow the steps. Where you still do not understand, see previous videos on isometric circles, how to draw isometric circles, and some of previous examples I've uploaded before. Watch them very well and come back to this. You'll be able to connect. All right, thank you for watching. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please do so, and hit the like button of this video. I want to say a very big thank you to all my subscribers, and I want to say a very big thank you to every one of you, those whom have reached out from the United States, from Philippines, from Kenya, from Zimbabwe, South Africa, and even here in Nigeria. every one of you from Somalia, every country, everyone that has reached out from countries far and wide. I say a very big thank you to you. Keep bringing in your questions, and I will try my best and do justice to them. Thank you for watching. See you some other time. Bye.